Welcome to this episode of Discuss with Gus. Before we get started, I wanted to clear up a few things. I just heard one of my colleagues on the floor of the House, nice guy, but I didn't like what he said because he misrepresented a few facts. With regard to the Children's Health Insurance Program, the CHIP program, he said that we have not reauthorized the program. The House hasn't acted. That's what he implied. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. We have acted, and we've reauthorized the program. It's so very important. As a matter of fact, my amendment included more children from Florida to qualify for the program. So it's so very important. Republicans, folks, in my opinion, and I don't want to get political, really do care as much as Democrats. We have to be fiscally responsible, though, because we have a $20 trillion deficit. We did reauthorize the program. He said that the community health centers program was not reauthorized, and then we did not pass legislation. That's not true. We did pass legislation out of the committee, and it was my bill that passed out of the Energy and Commerce Committee and on the floor of the House of Representatives, reauthorizing these great centers that help so very many people, reauthorizing the program. So, again, that's the furthest thing from the truth. Now, the truth is that the Senate has not acted yet. So we need to put pressure on the United States Senate. With regard to the flood insurance program, so people will know, a couple weeks ago, we reauthorized the flood insurance program. That's so very important to my constituents in the 12th Congressional District, but throughout Florida, because they depend on this program. The Senate needs to get going and get this done as soon as possible. Okay, so we want to clear up a few things before we get started, and I wanted to get that off my chest because we can't be misrepresenting the facts, and we've got to jump on it right away because how else are our constituents going to know? All right, next we have a couple of letters here that I want to get to. One is from Ted, and Ted is from Wesley Chapel. All right, Ted writes, the Veterans Bill that promised us Veterans ID cards passed in 2015. That's almost 3 years ago, and he's right. I'm a U.S. Army veteran that served in Vietnam. I want to thank you for your service, Ted. When will we see an ID card from the VA? And if not, can you please investigate this? Well, we did look into it, Ted, and there's no excuse for this ID card not to be implemented and issued. No excuse whatsoever. But I will tell you now that the VA is ready. And I want to give you some information, Ted, and this will help all veterans who listen to this broadcast. To apply for your Veterans ID card, and the ID card is so very important because you're entitled to discounts and also the identification. We made sure that the Social Security number does not have to be included, which I think is very good. So we're protecting your privacy as well. But we'll give you the ID card, the VA will, if you apply for a printed veteran ID card. So please apply at www.vets.gov and click on apply for a printed veteran ID card. Okay? So again, inexcusable that we had to wait that long from the VA, but they're doing it now, and they guarantee that you'll get your card within 60 days upon applying for the card. I wanted to give you that information, and I really thank Ted for bringing that up. Next, we have Ray from Dunedin. And Ray writes, I feel that if the FCC is able to successfully put their plan to repeal Title II into action, the internet as we know it will be forever destroyed, he says, with websites that connect the people of our country and the world locked behind a paywall. Okay, now, Ray, I want to clear a few things up because we're getting a lot of calls in the district. And I can follow up on this, and we can get you some information on this. Anybody that's interested in this, and I know we have a lot of interest. This deregulation by the FCC, if it goes through, now this is not legislation, it's the FCC, so you're right, Ray. If the commission passes this deregulation with regard to Title II, it'll just bring us back to a free and open internet that has taken place, from 2002 to 2015. We've had a lot of innovation and a lot of growth in the internet and a lot more opportunities. So all this does is, without getting into all the details, it brings us back to 2015. Okay, so in my opinion, the internet will not be destroyed. And if you want more information on this subject, please don't hesitate to contact us. All right, well, thank you very much again for hearing me out. I also will tell you that we passed some legislation on the floor this week with regard to sexual harassment. And it's inexcusable. It will not be tolerated in the country. And I'm talking about also including our chamber, the House and the Senate as well, and Congress. We passed legislation to make sure that the staff and the members are trained on sexual harassment, and also that they're being held accountable, and that the taxpayer dollars should not be used to settle these claims. Okay, so in any case, we can continue to update you on that issue as well. I really appreciate you tuning in this week, and I'll see you next week.